ليش هيئة ليش عالم، ليش كذا، مش لصوت الضعيف والحق ولا لا؟ ساتر.
يعني انت بآمن
حق إلك، إما بتاخذه إما بتتراضى مع صاحبه. المشاكل اللي بتصير والقتل والأطفال والكبير والصغير والعالم هون سوى يهود سوى عرب. مين اللي خلقوا هذا؟ من الزمن 40 مين خلقوا؟ مين فساد هذا؟ مين خلقوا؟
عيد الله يا طير الطير يا حبيبي يحميك عيوني ويصونك عيد الله حكفرك الله وتفتحيني حبة رماني وكروم الغرام نزل الأسر من فوق الشباب ولك فلسطين وين راحت شبابي تعرف أنا ما من هيك.
אבל זכותי לחזור לכפר שלי, שאני שייך לכאן.
למי אבל כנראה?
אני לא, מיליונים, אני מסרב. שלהם, אנחנו משלמים להם כסף ושיחזרו באופן שהם באו. הם לא שייכים לכאן. אנחנו נולדנו כאן, תסתכל, לעור שלנו, זה כמו אדמה. אותו עור, אנחנו דומים לאדמה, שהם לא דומים בכלל, תסתכל לעיניים שלהם ולפרצופים שלהם, אירופים. מה זה, לפני 2,000-4,000 שנה? זה לא בעיה שלי. אני פלסטיני, ערבי, נולדתי כאן, זהו, וסבא שלי.
And I told my boys, set in 2 lines and start to sing. And we entered the streets of Tzfat singing what was considered the hymn of the Palmach. And the people, the Jews living there, heard the singing, and they knew that the Palmach arrived. And this was the turning point of the feeling of the people from a complete despair and a feeling that they are going to lose their lives to a new expectation and hope that they'll get it.
That if this is what's about to happen, fight between Jews and Arabs once the British leave, we have to prepare ourselves towards that moment. Training, get ammunition, weapons and so on, to be prepared as much as possible to that moment, for that moment. And therefore, if we fight the British, they'll fight back. And once they leave, we will be powerless when the real struggle for the future of Palestine starts. Therefore, we should refrain from attacking British, fighting British, and keep our power and force and even strengthen it towards the future when the Arab-Jewish struggle starts.
They killed Stern sometimes in 41, in the winter of 41, but this organization was very small. They only had 500 people, the best time. Etzel had 5,000 people, and the Haganah had 50,000 people. So the proportions are basically 80% of the Israeli Palestinian Jews supported Ben Gurion and social democracy. Only 20% were nationalists, and of these 20%, only 20% of them, 500 people, were supporters of extremist nationalism. That's it.
החינוך שאומר שהכל שלנו, כל הארץ שלנו מתערבים, צריך לגרש מפה. ומותר להרוג ערבים ולשים פצצות בשוק של ערבים, כמו שהם שמים פצצות, גם אנחנו שמנו פצצות וכו'. זה היה משהו שנמשך, מזה אנחנו עברנו לאצ"ל, ארגון צבאי לאומי. האנגלים זרקו אותו, את כולם. ואז הוא ארגן אנשים שיהרגו את הרזן השוודי בירושלים. הרזן השוודי היה נסע באוטו פרטי בירושלים, ואז עצרו את האוטו והרגו אותו. I don't know exactly if Shamir has done it himself. I know that people who did it, that they were loyal to Shamir.
Only after the war, I heard at night, I was a seaman, I heard at night the weeps, the cries of the women, and the children. You understand? At this time, I couldn't remember it. I thought that I'm doing the best thing. Later on, only after some years, I understood what's happened. You understand me? But this is the war. It's a terrible thing.
There were some massacres in the Galilee. I told you one shouldn't exaggerate these things. Altogether, in all the massacres which occurred in Palestine, perhaps 800 prisoners of war and civilians were killed by the Jews. There were also massacres by Palestinians of Israelis in which something like 300 people probably died. So those were the massacres. Apart from that, there was a civil war in which about 8,000 Palestinians were killed and 6,000 Israelis were killed in the war itself, in the whole war, the civil war and the Arab-Israeli war which followed.
Yeah. First of all, Plan D that we talked about said that every village that would be occupied and its population expelled has to be demolished. And Plan D also ordered people to plant mines in the debris so the people could not come back. So that was already an order from March 1948 by the army, not by the Transfer Committee. The Transfer Committee convinced the government to give it a lot of bulldozers in the summer, in August 48, because they wanted to accelerate the process of cleaning the area. So that was the Transfer Committee's request. After 48, and until 1956, the ethnic cleansing continued inside Israel. About 36 villages were expelled by Israel after the war, inside Israel. So the ethnic cleansing continued. Then came the 67 war. And I think that a lot of people, as you know, probably in 67, Israel expelled. It expelled the people who lived in the old Jewish quarter in Jerusalem and the Muslim quarter. It expelled 3 huge refugee camps near Jericho. It expelled a lot of people from Kalkilia, which Israel nearly destroyed, and Jenin. The Israeli strategy was that every village you flank it from 3 sides, and you leave one side open so the people can run away. So if by any mistake, and it happened several times, you close the villages from all 4 sides, a lot of the people stayed in the village, and this is when massacres occurred.
So the beginning of the battle was an announcement by a loudspeaker. I have learned that you intend to carry out an operation against Deir Yassin. I would like to call your attention to the fact that the conquest of and continuing occupation of Deir Yassin is one of the stages in our overall plan. I have no objection to you carrying out the operation on condition that you are capable of holding on to it.
ואנשי האצ"ל והלח"י, אני לא ידעתי להבדיל איפה אצ"ל איפה לח"י, השתלט על הגבעה הזאת. מהרגע הזה התחלתי לשמוע יריות בכל מיני מקומות. אני הולך עם הבחור שלי, ואני רואה, נכנס לבית, 3 ילדים הרוגים, ירו עליהם בפינה, אישה, גבר, מבית לבית, ואני שומע שיורים בכל הבתים. אנשי אצ"ל ולח"י ממש מבצעים פה בעיניי מעשה רצח מן המעלה הראשונה. אני לא הכרתי את המפקדים שלהם, וגם לא רציתי...
المهم مسك ايش؟ بوز البروده. مسك بوز البروده قال له ارخي ما ارخي، قال له هذاك انت اعطي. ضرب في المكازين ما طلعتش. والله هذا شوف عيني. ما طلعت. عاود اجى الثالث طخه وقع على ركبه امي. امي زي ما تقول تعرف ابنها بطلت تقدر تمشي. لما شافت شو اسمه اجوا عمي للزاويه ضربوه 3 طلاق في جنبه. لعمي الامانه انه المعلاء تبعه طلع على الحيط. شوف عيني هذه صار رفعت في الدم. شاف كيف؟ قال له انت كله منك انت بتفتحش الباب.
This is a picture you can see here in a cemetery, and here is the soldiers. You see here a lot of soldiers here. It is not clear, this picture, and you see here people without the clothes and the hand tight. The hand is tight in his back. It's tight the hand, and in the scene in front of the woman with the children. The soldiers take this part of men and kill him in front eyes of the men. You can see how much the soldiers take a group and put him in the cemetery and kill him. This is a group of maybe 10 or 15 persons surrounded with the Israeli army and jeep here. Look, we have soldiers there, jeep, and look, soldiers with gun, soldiers surrounded a group of men, take him where? To the cemetery, before they killed him. This picture, you can see here the bodies that the soldiers stand a group of men in the wall of Al-Hajj Fakhriyi home and shot him.
قالوا لنا ابحثوا مدود عشان يحطوا المي الكتلة فيه. بحثنا مدود حوالي 40 متر على عرض 3 متر. صاروا ياخذوا كل 10-12 واحد قدام امه قدام ابوه قدام اولاده ياخذوا طيب يرجعوا ميت. هسه اللي يجيبوهم ميتين في شيء ايده تتحرك وشيء يجي تتحرك يدبوهم في المدود هذا فوق بعضهم. 210 شباب اللي اخذوهم قتلوهم وحطوهم في المدود هذا. ودفعوا ورموا عليهم التراب.
I admit that as long as I didn't hear about this massacre from the Jews, I almost did not believe that it happened. But the moment Jews began talking about it, even if they talked generally without details, I didn't have any other choice but to believe that this happened here. Now, as I came to this research as an historian and not as a politician, I did not and I could not have any hesitation in including these facts in my research, although people told me from the beginning, when it was known already at January 2000, and they are still telling me today, why to do this? Why to publish to this research that may make harm to the good name of Israel?
Why all the world is interested in the Holocaust, Israeli Holocaust in German, and they document all the interviews and the printed boxes, but in the Palestinian testimony it is lying. Why? This is a human being and this is an animal? This is the question. Why?
Like when you drop a stone in a quiet lake and the circles start to get bigger and bigger. So they dropped a stone on the surface of the water in every part where they guaranteed that the circles would reach everybody, which means one massacre in each area in order to inform everybody. So massacre in one area forced the whole area, the whole district, although truly they did not go in and force every individual to leave.
مقتولين يرفع الكوفية الراية هيك للعدو بيده ويضربوه بالرصاص ويمشوا عليه بالدبابة.
شفت انت لما بتروح بتزور قريتك شو بيكون شعورك يعني؟
شعوري لا يرث لها. انزل في حزن. انزل في حزن. هذه بلدي مسقط راسي ابان وجداد. يطردنا العدو منها وانا مسالم لا حارب ولا كافح ولا سوي.
وهم صغار ونسوان وكبار اشي كثير. هذا سلفي اللي باقي حضنها ولد ولا هو بين الطفل. انا ماني بقيتش بس اتخرف منها صرفتني. صفينهم هان صفوا صاروا اليهود هيك زي الاسفلت بينهم. صارين يكروا فيهم. اشي كثير بنعدش. هذه سلفتي هازمين عليها المكاتيل والبز في ثم الطفل. هازمين عليها مش طيبها الطخ. هازمين عليها المكاتيل يا حرام بدهاش تموت. بعد ما راحوا اليهود الولد الطفل بحضنها على البز ميت عادي فرفضت حالها وشردت.
ماشي בפנים ומשי זה, והצבא, החיילים, אחד החיילים, לא כולם, היה מסתובב, מי שעושה נותן לו. אחד למזלו, בכדור באור שלו, לא בעצם, באור. הוא בא באותו הלילה אצלנו. למה אנחנו יודעים שהוא גר כאן, וכולו דם. הוא עשה עצמו מת עד הבוקר. לא עד הבוקר, עד הלילה. בלילה קפץ מצד של בית שימוש של המסגד, ועשה את הסיבוב ובא. והקצין אחד אומר, אני המשכתי להיות במלחמה, לא יודע, ואיך זרקו את אנשי לוד, הוראה או לא הוראה, גם כן התחילו לדבר. אז הקצין אחד אומר, בן גוריון אמר ביד שלו, ככה, זה סימן שנתן הוראה לגרש את כל הערבים מלוד. זה היה גירוש, לא היה אחד יצא, אנשים ישבו יומיים בבית. יומיים בבית. אחר כך, אללה תגרש, יאללה, גירשו את האנשים. גירשו את כולם, אחרי כמה שעות לא ראית אחת בלוד. זהו, אז זה כמה שאומרים.
הצבא עוד פעם בא ואמר, אתם צריכים לפנות את הכפר, סופית. 60 אנשים באו עוד פעם מסעיות, לקחו את החמורים, את הגמלים, את הפרות, את החפצים, את הרהיטים וגם את התקווה. זה מה שחשוב, לקחו להם את התקווה ובאו לרמי. זה היה באמצע 49. הכפר נכבש ב-48 בסתיו, בנובמבר 48. בזמנו ניגש הכפר, האנשים בכפר ניגשו לעורך דין בשם הווארי, מוחמד אל-הווארי, ואז ב-51, במאי 51, הייתה החלטה של בית משפט העליון בירושלים, שהפינוי הוא לא חוקי. אין סיבה להוציא את האנשים האלה, אלה אזרחים, לא יצאו, אף אחד לא יצא מחוץ לארץ, אף אחד. בדרך מירושלים לרמי, בן גוריון בזמנו היה שר הביטחון, הכריז שהשטח של אקרית שטח צבאי סגור, והיה אי אפשר ליישם את ההחלטה. לא רק זה, במקום זה, ב-24 לדצמבר, שזה ליל קריסמס, ב-51, הכפר פוצץ.
אני רק מקווה שיבוא ראש ממשלה שיש לו ראש על הכתפיים ויבין שתושבים פה שחיים, ערבים, פלסטינאים שחיים במדינת ישראל, צריכים לקבל את הזכות שלהם ולקבל את השוויון. ואת השוויון בשבילי כערבי זה להחזיר אותי לפה, כמו שהוא מאמין שהוא חזר לארץ שלו.
Everything is different now. We go this way and we go to the church.
How many people lived here?
1,000. 1,000, yes. Look, everything here destroyed. My house was here. ده بعده مليان مي. هذا بيتنا وهذا أنا بحشته بإيدي. We dipped it. The door was here. Door, yes, and the windows. They destroyed it, and it was the roof with wood. the good and the braves. They took everything. Supreme Court gave decision in 52, and the decision was it's for our sake. He said you can go to your village, but with condition to take a permission from the army. That's it. Your village for you, your lands for you, it will be for you, but you need a permission. Until now, we have no permission. And they, after 1 day, 3 days, when we told them that we are coming to Baram, they destroyed it. 53, they destroyed everything here. That's it. You see the house, the church. You can see it. And the airplanes, we knew that they are exploding in Baram, and we were watching the village, and everybody said, this is our house, this is my house, it's exploded. And it was very, very, very difficult.
Elected Lebanese president was killed. The Israelis made a new attack on West Beirut. I went to the southern side of the camps and found everything silent. Then I saw an old man with a gunshot in his temple. One of his eyes had been pierced. Stiffening of the corpse has not yet taken place, and his blood has not even dried. Nearby was the corpse of another old man. I noticed something green under his thigh. Looking closer, I found it to be a hand grenade, with the bulb removed. It was set to explode if the body was moved. That is how I became sure that this was a deliberate massacre. I feared that the killers may still be wandering or patrolling somewhere nearby. Whole families were killed. Altogether, I saw 50 bodies with my own eyes. But the area I walked in was a very small part of the camp.
الساعة 8 الصبح للساعة 3:30 بعد الظهر، وهني بالشاحن، وابني بليبرتين، وبنطلون بجامة، مش لابس صباط، حفاية زنوبة ام اصبع، وقاعد بهالشمس بهالشهر كان نار تغلي الدنيا غلي. أنا ما أعرف في مجازر، أنا قلت يا الشرع بحقي وزمان أولادي ما عاملين شيء، يعني ما كل هذا يعني إني انحرقت. أنا لو بعرف أولادي ما عاد بدي أشوفهم، والله لحط حالي تحت الدبابة، والله لحط حالي تحت جرين الدبابة، والله لخلي الدبابة تدهس، والله لتعمشق بالشاحنة وأروح مع أولادي.
ماسك بده ياخذ دارين يعني بشدها من صدرها لدارين عاصص عليها مين؟ ابوها. جاي خبطه وين؟ خبطه بالسنجة. دمه وين؟ كله جابوا له البنت مغسله دم لدارين.
We turned this corner, I'll show you later, turned a corner, and there was a bullet-ridden wall, and they lined all of us up against the wall. But we were all white, and most of the people had blonde hair, and they were like this, you know, firing squad, and we thought we were gonna die. Yeah, some of us were crying, and then suddenly it stopped, and I decided that I need to help these people. I need to help these people because I am Jewish and because I believe that Jews are very moral people. I believe that we have had an awful history and that we must not allow this to ever happen again. We must speak out when we see an atrocity, when we see a wrong being done. And we should be the first people to try and help these Palestinians.
We have evidences that she is held in Khiyam.
Khiyam where?
In South Lebanon.
She's now? No.
That's what we believe. From the officer of the Minister of Security, they say she is held in a detention place that is not in the frame of the State of Israel, but in Lebanon.
ينزلني ما تفوتي لعنده ولا يبلش من هيك شو كيف رجال طيرك فيك ويزتك بالارض ويجيب لك الكهرباء ويحط لك اياها بجسمك. هلا وشو اسمه عذاب نفسي بقعد في زنزانه كان انا قاعده اكثر شيء بزنزانه كلبجي لورا ودين كلبجي لورا كيس وعصبي اجريي وكيس وعصبي عصبوني وجابوا حبل ربطوني بالحبل من فوق لتحت.
Suffering by electricity.
كل الغرف كانوا انه للتعذيب يعذبوا فيه.
These rooms are investigation.
بعدهم على مهمة.
So this is everybody's clothes. Your clothes. Where is your clothes?
Put here. Put home.
ولا يهمك عم دقيقة واحدة.
نروح ناخذ احتياطنا ونخلي
And accordingly, in front of Palestinians, two ways: either to die by Apache and F-16 missiles of Israelis, or to leave. They will not accept another people. It's Jewish state and Jewish land, according to Sharon. So I believe we are standing now as Palestinians in front of these two ways, and accordingly we haven't another choice just to defend ourselves and to resist that kind of aggression of Israelis. We will not leave our land as we did under the Israeli bombs and massacres at 1948.
الحماس كلها أمنيتها الشهادة. تكبير تكبير تكبير.
And then we are, because we are يا رب رحمتك يا الله.
انسحاب انسحاب جيش الموت والارهاب. جيش الموت
حدا؟ خطوط؟
I want to ask your idea about הסכם עכשיו חורכים בין אש"ף וישראל.
And here's a liberation of the state of Israel from the territories. The great French statesman Charles de Gaulle liberated France from Algeria. Liberated France from this cursed task of dominating another people. A brilliant military victory, 1967, was a political and historical disaster for the state of Israel, because it turned the state of Israel into a power dominating another people, and that's a curse.
As a societal political activity, I think that I have a duty as a citizen to convince other citizens, other soldiers that are citizens here in Israeli society, that this war is not our war and that they can disobey, and every soldier in a democratic state army should know what is its limits. Every soldier should have limits. Every soldier should have things that he knows that are right to do and wrong to do. And I hope that more and more Israeli soldiers will define this war as immoral, unjustified war, and they will refuse to take part in.
Because those names are not there. They are not on maps. They are in Israel, of course. They are not on maps. They are not in signs in the roads. They are not in the streets. They are nowhere. So this village the village is there, but there is no sign for it, no indication. So we post the signs, and our goal is to address Jews, to take responsibility, to know and to take responsibility on what we did in the Nakba in 1948. It's not all our guilt or responsibility. It's not only the Jews' responsibility, but we have a lot of responsibility about it, and we think we must bear this responsibility. And
we were starting the fight. I know who started because we had plans the day before,
and the general would come and would say, I want you to do this and that tomorrow. And tomorrow there was a fight, and in the evening we hear in the radio that the Egyptians started fire and our forces answered and so on. And I said, what answered? We started, I know exactly. So I discovered that slowly that we are telling, well, the Israeli side is telling lies, which was for me, because the stereotype was that Arabs are telling lies and we are always telling the truth. Yeah. So then I discovered, oh, we are telling lies.
Because you cannot have a democratic Israeli state all the time that Israel leaves the territory. But also it's not enough to leave the territory. The leaving the territory just must be a beginning.
We are still in a defeat period, and we are living a period of defeat for the whole Arab national movement, for the Palestinian national movement, and inside Israel too. And this is, I will say, the most important characteristic of the situation of defeat, where the Americans are the one who decide who will die and who will live and who will be independent and who will not, and what and when to and what is democracy and what is not, and when to have elections and when to have invasion. A situation all over the world.
ולקחו אותנו לקיבוץ יקום, ואז שהגענו שני נערים מערערה, הלכו לדווח למדריך שהגיעו שניים מערערה, אז הוא אמר שאחד מהם יהיה צבי ואחד יהיה יצחק. ואני התחלתי לשאול, הכיצד ציונים וסוציאליזם נפגשים ביחד, ואז התחילו כל השאלות עד שהגיע המצב עם יעקב חזן והתחיל להסביר, ואמרתי לו, אני לא מבין.
הרבה פעמים היו שואלים אותי, כשהייתי מדבר באנגליה, בארץ, היו באים אליי כל מיני ישראלים, הישראלי המצוי, אומרים, תגיד לי, למה אתה בעד הערבים? והתשובה שלי הייתה, אני לא בעד הערבים. אני מעולם לא הייתי בעד המלך פרוק, ואני לא הייתי בעד המלך חוסיין. אז אמרו לי, אז בעד מי אתה? התשובה שלי הייתה, אני תמיד בעד המדוכאים. אני תמיד נמצא לצד המדוכאים ונגד המדכאים. ואצלי העולם לא מחולק ליהודים, ערבים, אנגלים, גרמנים, נשים, גברים, ילדים, מבוגרים. אז אם המדוכאים זה יהודים, אני לצידם לא בגלל זה שהם יהודים, אלא בגלל זה שהם מדוכאים. ואם המדוכאים זה ערבים, אני לצידם לא בגלל זה שהם ערבים, אלא עם זה שהם מדוכאים. ואם המדכאים הם יהודים, אני נגדם לא בגלל זה שהם יהודים, אלא בגלל זה שהם מדכאים. אני נגד הדיכוי. ואני תמיד לצד המדוכאים ונגד המדכאים. אני נגד דיכוי.
הכוונה היא בסופו של דבר ליצור בנטוסטן פלסטיני, כמו שדרום אפריקה יצרה מדינות. אבל מה? אני חושב שפרס ורבין, שהם לא מכירים הרבה את המאה ה-20, לא מבינים שמה שהם הולכים לעשות זה אוריג'ינל. האם אפשר לעשות עם תנועה לשחרור לאומי, Liberation Movement, בנטוסטן? כי בדרום אפריקה עשו בנטוסטן, אבל לא עם Liberation Movement. אתה יכול לחיות באירופה, אתה יכול לחיות באמריקה, והמלחמות הן רחוקות. לחיות בישראל, אתה לא יכול לחיות ככה, מלחמה לא רחוקה. עכשיו, אתה מבין, המטריאליזם הכין את הדרך, ובשביל זה אני לא פסימיסט כמו טורקי. יש כוח מטריאליסטי. ישראלים, אתה מבין אותי או לא? ישראלים רוצים לחיות בלי צרות, וכמובן בלי ערבים. זה לא משנה, אבל אתה מבין בשקט. תראה, מלחמת הגולף הראתה לנו שהמערב, האליזם האמריקאי, רוצה לשלוט, אבל הוא לא רוצה לשלם את המחיר בדם. זה חשוב להבין. לא רוצה לשלם מחיר בדם. Zionist victory is not to build a Jewish city near Jericho, but to keep a Jewish state in the Middle East, then when I say Zionism has a victory by the fact that the Arab state recognized the Israeli state, maybe it's the beginning of the end. Like the Likud say. And I'm not sure that the Likud is not right by saying it's the beginning of the end of Zionism. It's sure.
So the whole concept of conquering a land which has many cities, fortified cities, as it is described in the Bible speaks about city walls rising high to the sky. There were no city walls at all. It's a later reconstruction of a past which is not supported. So it's not a question that we did not find the evidence. We did find the evidence, but the evidence we found is entirely different.
So, did you find some, even small things from David and Solomon's kingdom?
And then they knew that there was some sort of a founder, an early king, whose name was David. So this inscription, in a way, makes David historical. However, I don't think that we can read the nature of the United Monarchy as a great empire as we see in the biblical text. Another point, an interesting and important one, that in Jerusalem there's almost nothing from the 10th and 9th centuries. Jerusalem becomes a big city, a major town with a big population only in the 8th century BC. So that is to say 2 centuries after David.
These people are provocative nationalists, have nothing to do with the Jewish people. All they want to do is provoke the Arabs. They don't have anything to do with religion, with Judaism, with anything Jewish, and we protest with every possible available jargon what they're doing, the way they incite the Arabs, they cause bloodshed, and we protest totally, and we despise the way their behavior is. Incite the Arabs, we want to live peacefully with the Arabs, and they have no right to move onto the mountain of God until Messiah comes. It is forbidden according to Jewish law to go up on the mountain. These people are not Jewish, they don't act like Jews, and they do not represent the Jewish people in any way, state, or form. I can speak for all the faithful Jews, yes.
Speak for all Jews?
I speak for any Jew who believes in Torah Moshe and Yud Gimel Ikra, that's right.
For both
that's right, I'm a Jew, right.
Oh, well,
you want to split up the Jewish people, I want to put them together. Jews are against violence, Jews are against enticing the Arabs. This is a Zionist, provocative. These people are hurting and fighting against the Jewish people.
Of who were the Khazars, how come they became Jews, and where did they go? The most important word in Yiddish is to daven. To daven means to pray to God in a synagogue. There is no linguistic explanation to how this term came into Yiddish except through the Khazars. So the people who died at the extermination camps spoke a language which contained a lot of words, which were derived from the Khazars or came via the Khazar territory. Daven, to pray.
But my uncle, when I was walking with him in the village, he did it like this for me. The history is coming. It's coming from under the stones. The history is coming from the trees, it's coming from the walls, from everything. And for me, just like few minutes, the village, like someone started to draw the village in front of me. Here where they will walk the people, here where they work, here where they have the weddings. And after that, when we reached the area where they were the houses, everything destroyed, but the stones still there. And he was quiet a little bit and told me, I born in this house, and your mother born in this house.
יש לך את כל הבתים, זה היו על הגבעה הזו, וגם למטה פה, הנה, אתה רואה את כל מקום האבנים האלה, זה איפה שהרסו את הטרקטורים, יפילו את הבתים. הנה, כל גבעה שאתה רואה אותה עם הרבה אבנים, זה היה בתים.
هذه دار أهلي ما بنساها.
هي داركم؟
لا الحين بفرجيك إياهم من هذيك الجهة.
هذا جو البنى تاع الدار هدوا كله.
هاي كان هدات.
كان هاي دار نام
تعيش حلوة.
بس اليهود اجوا خربوها علي.
الجار كانت
مبنية
يا مشاهد.
used to be the walls and the roof for this house. كمان عندك كتير كمان هناك كلها هيك. هذا برضه مهما طال الزمن نرجع للدور هنا نبنيها من اول جديد، بنحييها بنحيي البلد كمان مرة مهما طال الزمن ان شاء الله الا نرجع هنا بالعز ان شاء الله. هذا دار سيدي ودار جدي ودار اهلي واهلي كانوا ما بننساهم ولا مرة. اذا انا بس ابني ما بنساه، هي هذا الصغير ما بنساه، خليها مزروعة في ذاكرته من جوا. كفي كده. كده لا صوت ماشي.
هون اللي مسد الماكينة اللي توصل بالضغط.
ايوه
مشان الزيت والجبت. ايوه والزيتون ياخذوه منها.
رجل المالحة ما ضلش غير عجزة بطلع 5 6 عجايز، نسوان كبار في العمر.
تركوهم في المالحة.
تركوا كان نطلع قال لي ماناش نرجع بعد شهر نرجع مستنيين نرجع يعني كبار في العمر مشي رحت اجيبوهن اللي راح يجيبوهن انقتلوا يعني 4 5 اسبوع ليه
واللي راح يجيبوها كم واحد؟
2 3 راح يجيبوهم يعني
يتسللوا لاولادهم يجيبوا اكل يطعموا اولادهم. رحلوا في الخلا بقينا ننام تحت الخروب في الجبل هيك يزونوا ينام تحت الخروب. راحوا يتسللوا يجيبوا لاولادهم يعني لا فوقنا ولا لو طلعنا من بلادنا لو انها شريطه.